Greetings. So good to have you here, Taurus. Thank you for being present. How'd you like that 2020 didn't poke your eye out thing with that full moon? Get something new in your ear thing? You thing. Well, it's a love thing going on right now for the strong of what we're new wrapped in for a special kind of communion. And that's what kind of draw this is here. So I need to tidy up what was already inside the swivel gate and what this is here. So for the strong of 210 to 216, we've got a new way to experience what wraps itself as water wings and what earth tribes get to know about magnets. Like the biosphere that's being sealed all around you and being calibrated to the source of you, not in verse that way, because it's you, me, we, inside the one strong incept way in, where 8 doesn't hurt like that. We're sealing a digestive gate. So here's what I've got. We have you and them, and we've got the beautiful John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck and the Romance Angels. And we're going to see what's going on, because they say things about the magnetosphere that some of you all have been hearing about that's actually a cure for REM, where we can sleep and also remember where we've never been. And coming out of a very serious inoculation particle scatter, where the metal that's being swept constantly isn't chopping you up, where you don't feel the pain, and others might feel the pain at the same time because of how the reverberation sensation is confusing like that. It releases a certain dopamine and certain neurotoxins at the same time. And so some of us aren't being simultaneously poisoned like that anymore because we've been recalibrated. So you in verse is hilarious when wagers want to coin you the coin age, you know, and I did some different things with what proves how much energy was at stake, and I created a simulation that they're calling Bitcoin for particle creation. That's basically Oregon that proves where her particles actually landed. Okay, so let's see what's going on for you, my darling, because Taurus was never split apart for gold and a view inside of something that people were gaming for a slice of a real beastie idea. Bad hive. Some of us know about a full spectrum of energy, and you're actually kind of looking at a magnetic propulsion chamber that I've been training the magnetosphere that they call Mercury Retrograde. Yeah, okay. So, magnets, not planets. Planning end times. A new game. All right. What do we have going on for my Taurus that woke up? Some of y'all, ooh, that's you right there in the middle, in the center, and the reason for it. Wisdom. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. And how about a new spin on this wager about your age, or like how old are you? I got like weird certificates when I woke up in this like death room game where there's like a simulation where they stamp you to try to card you into a sarcophagus, and it's like a weird snuff film that a lot of them were playing, and I've figured that out and let them figure out how to chase my keys with a Satoshi Nakamoto hack. And so some of you all know that this like age thing is a weird window where you've been sliced up in these different views that were shining up, and that's what this book of life is actually about. So some of you have been on display in ways that you didn't know because of how Taurus energy actually works and what actually goes around that golden halo, and why we got to close what doesn't get to fork its way in and open up through celluloid and what you can do with cinematography to just split up the angles, and you actually can create things that get up and move. And what I can actually prove with these things and what I've been quarantining into, basically a very special Venus flytrap, the plant that fooled everything. It's called plastic. So, wisdom! Some of y'all, it's that kind of reading, it's that kind of lockdown, and you are in that kind of magnetic harness with whoever it is that you've been talking to. And so I had to take a pause and do like what a good dad would do, because they're like training me on like the sacred masculinity thing, and I've had certain people proving that these aren't toys and that we're made of a certain kind of plastic that doesn't get biomagnetically trained by people who know that a lot of people can't get off of these things for a reason. They're being programmed on the other side of their thumbprints to think what they're swiping is what they're actually swiping while something else is happening. What we can prove about biometrics and what goes into eyes. And so some of you all are inside of this like special gate of wisdom. This is Gnosis here in front of you. And it's like whoever your partner is, if you're in a partnership, it's like there's a certain kind of impermeable membrane that is sealed. It's like we got scorched. We got a certain kind of like a Pompeii. That's what the sun is that's showing you here. What's actually happening during this and why it's not a week. It's a strong. It's not how 7, water gets burned and pulled along for scents and for people to just wage their way in and time hash what they could see there and pull themselves through parts of your brain. That's why it's a cure. Mercury, being mercurial. So what you're hearing, if you hear this, is MK3. I'm detuning static robots that don't get to fuck with you because this is a particle dematerialization. Okay, so major arcana over everything. And for some of you all, it's like a sacred bond over whatever your idea of riding steady with something is, whether it's like a special career you have or an artistic practice, or whether it's like your partner, like your love partner, your spouse, or whatever that equates to. So let's see what's under this lid here, Taurus. Recent past. Destiny. Wow. So those of you that took matters safely into your hands and were protective about what you knew about these bonds and what it would be if you were in front of your own, is what I'm hearing, while you were there with others, what would change about your behavior? And some of you never changed at all. You were always exactly the same, which is amazing because there's a certain protection over that. Then there are others that are seeing how, due to sometimes no fault of your own and because you were not wavering about certain things, people were guiding that process and twisting things along. So you're going to have to know what variety of that spice shaker I just gave you there you landed, because it's slippery and mashy, because some of you all knew that. So it's like getting a certain amount of pepper in there, and it's like it can be a lot to deal with. And so pay attention to what this image is here. This person has been through every freaking phase of it, all the way around. And so for some of you all, this is realizing that your gifts, as beautiful as they are, may have been highlighted around you if there was a structure you didn't see, like these grids that I've been locking down with sound, and what might have been shining up. Okay, so this is a real special time for those of you that realize some things don't get twisted around like that. Okay, especially in the cam era. Is that like an ear with a camera that might have been a cell phony called a somebody help me? What's going on in my halo? Please protect me. These things were sent to protect us and not be instruments for us to be abused. Okay, so some of you all have wised up and made some really important, serious phone calls figuring out what was going on with the underground Yahweh subway on the green screens for $5 string-alongs with brass bars and what it looks like on the other side of the knuckles that they shine up in your eyes when you get blinded by, what's that popo thing? It's a weird kind of idea for a dance party. Because have you ever had lights like that blasting up at you that almost kind of make that purple, that blue and red? It has a very hallucinatory effect. Some of you all were being simulated. Yeah. So, yeah. Get an idea. Make a call. This is what's in the near future. Suffering in silence. So, some of you are going to realize that somebody new and might have been inflicting that and playing games with your head. What are you doing? Oh. And for somebody, you might see that's how you kept winding up on this side, thinking you were over here, and why Taurus is such a joke. If they tried to open the sun and the moon and, you know, split an arising through a baby's head like this to grow it this way and cap a genie in a bottle. That's why the number hash got blocked here in my game. So anybody that tried to sever that doesn't get to split water. It's like they meet a nuclear reactor and they don't get to hurt you like that. So for some of you all, it's finding out that somebody knew what they were doing, were taking stabs. Or maybe just like insisting certain things and being able to get away with it enough because it felt like your destiny was somehow in their hands, you know? Especially if you felt like they might have been like suffering through it with you, you know? Somebody's definitely getting the payout here. And that's the thing about where suffering in silence ends too, because with this representation, this is actually the end of the suit. So it's like a special wall. It's a really special law. Maritime. It's where the Ram speaks up about what doesn't happen in the fourth house and why it would take 5 on it to be that wisdom about what didn't get all the way around. Some of you are going to find some shitty things out, especially if you had really bad people that you had your home security service with. I'm hearing you all need to hear about what 360 was getting away with, having 5 on it and what it meant to have that kind of wise over the house. Exactly. So we are in a place where it wakes the fuck up and where all these machines work great, especially now that we've quarantined the sound because it was towering, babbling, blah, blah, blah sounds like creating everything. So what's here at the root? The universe. Weren't we just laughing about that? Were you cursed in a verse somewhere? Were you in verses everywhere being saged into a bag for the verse age or the Versace and somebody's cheap-ass karate idea on Per Zeus and Perseus Medusa ideas in front of, no, sis. We have wisdom here. For some of you all, chip on your shoulder stuff, it's gonna come out loud because you might have been choked up about what to even say. Somebody might have just had to look the other way here too, because it's like, I don't know what to say. I just pulled this thing out here and you burned yourself over there is what I'm hearing, and I saw it like this. I walked away. I had to go up all these steps and I'm here by myself, and all right, take it that way. I hear it. It's like somebody over here, and it's like a shouting match. It's like these two rocks yelling at each other with this sun setting. And then somebody here, like, I don't know if they're like trying to hold it all in, but it's like something really had to change in their world. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like figuring out something about like what happened to your hair, or like something that somebody did. That I'm hearing for a couple of you all, it was like learning how to make the right call when it's like, who do you call when you think that somebody hexed you? You know, if you think that somebody put some weird fucking magnetic halo trap on you and like did some weird witch thing, guess what? A lot of assholes were doing that and getting away with it, being papered in safely because of false capitalization games. Exactly. And so it's like they were getting away with like lesser charges and pleas. And so sometimes it's like you're left at an impasse. And I'm hearing, if you're in a situation right now, know that it's like a big security camera has been watching everything and caught on two-sided sticky tape. It's like a reel, and it's like flies getting rolled up, twisted up in this, and oh, it's magnets, and they're carry yourself away. That kind of lockdown. So this is where this stuff comes to an end. What's here? Wish fulfillment. All right, my darling. There's the other 9. That right there, end of suit. It's where the wishes have been proven to be true, and it's like where the water didn't get split that way for us to say no access. And where that shines back on some people, you're going to know what it means. Because it's like the end of the line here, and this is where all of the energy is here. It has to go all the way around, you see. So we have a special kind of union for some of y'all, especially if somebody was at a distance just being like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and like wait for it to crash. All right, bye. And it's like that. It's like that. So for some of you all, it's like, what if somebody was here too fixed, holding on to something because they refused to? It's like they're just seeing how they put it there themselves, is what I'm hearing. And so for some of you, it's like a really strange way to get your wish fulfilled, because everything comes to you. Water meets its own level. It ends up being like a weird wobbly ass mirror, whatever you were watching here, especially if there were some bad judgments going on and like stupid things that were going on, especially if somebody was like hurting you behind your back while you're just like looking at this other thing and not seeing, oh, that's my face being put everywhere like that. You know, it's like this mirror rises up and it's like, well, you're here in the middle. This might be you here in wisdom, and maybe you just look a little different and you're okay, knowing that you did not get stranded that way in somebody's weird game. And that it's like putting a certain rest to it. Because I will say, being in pieces like Torrance to Rent, or for some like Danny Torrance, weird Pet Cemetery lynch pit kinky move, yeah, you don't wind up in pieces. You end up with the ease that peace never stranded you in. And seeing that for some of you all, it's like watching a gate closing over you, and it's going to be wonderful. That's what's happening. For the safe. So here's what's going on for the ones that make the effort and made it, because for some of y'all, this was what was going on in the soup. Who made the effort? What it looked like? Because great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, and some of you all waited for the right reason. You wanted to know before you were going to express your love. Go ahead, make the romantic gesture. So let me tell you how crazy I am. This is like my marriage game. And so I've been like trying to figure out who like the real one is. And so, because I had a lot of phony shit in my face. And so I have been trying to figure out who would do what, you know, and it's like a certain kind of boiling point. So for some of you all that were like doing that, like, it's good to wait thing for like all of it, and to like even prove what happens before people get married, and like these weird games and stuff that they play, and like all of that stuff, when you're about to claim your forever, and it's like those of you all that feel like you got rushed, and it's like, I don't know what to do, and it's like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm too old for you, like whatever. It's like the special genie in a bottle treatment where that shit comes back for settling. I'm an INFJ, so I just know what they try to do to me when they stamp me like that. It's like, I was like, oh, you don't get to do that. So there's a special genie in a bottle thing for the one that was like making the right effort all the way around. Because some of you all, that's who you've been talking to if you've been like the right kind of crazy. Some of you all have had like, I'm hearing, it's like you guys are getting the whisper one. We all have a special one, if that's what you had found yourself bubbled in with me, because that's what the Taurus actually is. It's Taurus. It's where Gemini and Cancer never happened that way either. 0 point energy, and we have different ways to like see what they were fortnighting and where the pieces came together in a pixel scatter that to me just explains what I quarantined over here in the collapso version of the apocalypse. So it's just going to be a wonderful time for those of you all that know it's time to stop suffering and speaking up to the one that you know is the right one. Because for some of you all, it's the right kind of suffering. You've been like waiting to see that something was safe and where this actually comes together. Because for some of you all, you had to, I'm hearing, it was like almost like taking a belt to the face with somebody, because it was like leaving abusive situations and like all kinds of things that somebody might have had to cover up. Some of y'all have friends that need prayers right now. Just know I'm praying. I love you. And share this with somebody if you think that it'll help them. It's the end of the world. Love you. Talk to you again soon. We're back for another one. Bye for now, Taurus.
Tell you 'cause you're